What's up, everybody? This is Chris Kane here with the Unofficial Therapy Podcast. I'm here with my girl Sophie for a part 2 to our first conversation. Sophie, what's up?
Hello, everyone.
So, Sophie was actually the very first podcast we did, and people wanted to know, they wanted to follow up on how you've been doing since our first one. So, have there been any new developments?
Actually, there has been. I actually just hung out with my neighbor, and we talked. I got my closure, and I guess we're trying to move forward as friends or acquaintances. We're trying to be cool with each other, on good terms.
So, what was said during this this closure period? What did he say that gave you the closure you wanted?
Well, like we talked about in the other podcast, I was never able to be open with him and tell him how I felt about him and about things he would do to me. I let it slide by. So when we hung out, it was just really random. But we just talked about everything. I told him, listen, he actually asked me, he was like, so why'd you hate me for all these months? And I told him, listen, yeah, I know I never told you I liked you, but I feel like it was just a little bit obvious. I liked you. I acted like I did. I just didn't tell you because, I don't know, he made it seem like that would have been the worst thing that ever happened to him, as if I liked him. So I told him, you made me feel really embarrassed if I liked you. So I just never admitted it to myself, to my friends. I knew it in my heart that I liked him. And so I told him, yeah, I liked you, and when you did this to me, it hurt. When you did that, it hurt. When you lied about hooking up with this person, I knew it was true, so it hurt that you lied to me. And he really saw my side, and he apologized. Since I hope it was sincere. I mean, it felt sincere. And yeah, he apologized. And I don't know. I feel like I got that closure because I saw his side. He told me how he felt about our relationship. I hate calling it a relationship because it wasn't at all.
It's still a relationship. It may not have been a traditional one. He wasn't your man's, but you guys had a relationship, right?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, so we when we hung out, we discussed that we didn't really work out because we never talked. We would go out. It seemed like we did talk, when we were looking. I think in the moments I never thought to myself oh, hey, I never talked to him. We never have conversations because we were always together. So I just felt I don't know why I never thought about it, but I realize now we never had a conversation. We never ever had a conversation with each other. It was just, we were always hanging out with each other because we were in the same group, and I don't know. We talked about how we just didn't have communication with each other, and it was both of our faults, and I kind of blamed myself for a really long time because I felt like I was the one who was never communicating with him. But we agreed but we talked about how it was the both of us. He didn't try to have a conversation with me. I never tried to have conversations with him. And honestly, when we hung out a week ago, whatever it was funny because that was the most we ever talked in the 8 months that we were whatever we were.
All right, so I don't want to relapse and go back to the past. I know it's very tempting to be and then go back about the past. So you said you felt like he was contrite. So let's set the scenario up. He hits you up, hey, I want to talk. You say okay, and y'all just start talking, and then what? You just go about your separate ways?
Okay, so backstory of why we hung out. A couple weeks ago, I was at a hookah lounge with a bunch of my friends, and we were leaving, and we're walking out of the door, and he's walking in. And one of my friends is friends with him. They had a class together in college. So she was saying hi to him, and me and my other friends just walk right by. All of my friends know about our situation. I'm kind of open. I'm an open person about things sometimes with my friends. So me and my other friends, we kind of walked away, and they were looking at me oh my God, I can't believe we just saw him. And then I'm walking away, and he's trying to say hi to me, and I was just being rude, whatever. He calls me a few hours later, and I picked up, and he was just apologizing, and he told me, like, I could tell you still hate me even after all these months. Keep in mind, he's single now. I don't know.
Boy.
I don't know if he was single in our first little podcast, but he's single now. And when I saw him at the hookah lounge, he was single.
Oh, no.
So he calls me and he's apologizing, whatever. I told him, okay, we're cool. Like, I am trying to be as positive as I can be in life, and I don't want to hold a grudge. I don't want to hate someone. Like, I'm trying to be, like, the bigger person and not have so much hate in my heart. So I told him over the phone, I'm like, okay, we can be cool. Like, it's fine. We're peachy. We're cool. I accept your apology. That's it. But I wasn't expecting us to, like, hang out and be friends or whatever. And then a couple of days ago, my friend came over, and I guess she was Snapchatting one of his friends, like, us just being really bored at my house. And then, I don't know, my neighbor texted me and said, like, hey, like, I know you're with so-and-so, like, what are you guys doing? Do you want to hang out? And so me and him were just texting. We made plans. We ended up meeting up, like, 20 minutes later at our friend's apartment. And we didn't talk about anything. And then our friends kept making things really awkward between us. Just saying, like, you guys are cute couple. Like, you guys would make a cute couple.
No.
Like, everyone knows our background. So they were just making it awkward, telling him to kiss me. And I'm like, no kisses.
These are first, we got to have a quick timeout. These are some bad friends. Let's just call it what it is. If they know the situation, they know the drama, they know the heartbreak. It's like, hey, you know what to make this better? Stabbing yourself in the heart again.
Right.
How about that? Like, those are bad friends.
Yeah.
And they're listening. We're calling them out. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So I let him kiss me on the cheek, whatever. Then he started saying, like, just dumb shit about our past, like, bringing up past things that, like, we went through together, asking me what my favorite memory of him was. And that's when we realized we both don't have a favorite memory with each other, because we never talked. We never had a friendship. We only hung out in a group. We never hung out just the two of us. We didn't really know each other. So I told him, I'm like, you know what? Trying to think about a memory I have with you, my favorite one. I don't even have a memory with you, let alone a favorite one. I just have, like, memories of us hooking up. It wasn't anything else. And he was like, yeah, I agree. And then that's when we started talking about everything, and whatever, we came to the conclusion that there's things I do that he doesn't want his girlfriend or future girlfriends to be doing. And obviously the way he treats people sometimes, I didn't agree with that. So we just agreed why, like, we were just talking about why we couldn't work out. And I was just saying, yeah, I feel like we should have built a friendship. We always said, like, oh, we're just friends. And he even said, yeah, I don't even feel like we were friends. Like, I don't know why we always said we're just friends when we weren't even friends.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, because you mentioned out in the first podcast ad nauseum that you guys were friends, you were next door to each other for a long time, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm curious, was it just that you guys lived next to each other, so you assumed you were friends, or because you had similar friends in like the same group, that, well, you were friends or in a group and he's in a group, so he's like friends through, like, osmosis or by association? Is that like, because people don't just say that's my friend generally without having something to back it up with, right?
Yeah.
You can say, oh, I know that person, but you said that's my friend. Oh yeah, we're just friends, and I kept hearing that. I'm like, okay. And then you said we never talked and we weren't really friends. So was it like a delusion thing, or was it?
I think I thought we were friends because my best friend was dating his best friend, and so our groups just merged. We were always together every single Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. We were always together, all of us. There's like a group of, sometimes it was just the four of us, sometimes like all of our other friends were there. So I think I just thought we were friends because we always hung out. But it wasn't like me and him were the ones hanging out. It was like I wanted to be with my best friend. He wanted to be with his best friend. Our best friends were dating and wanted to be with each other. So it was just, we were always together. And my best friend is just really, she's not my best friend anymore. We actually don't talk at all. But
oh boy,
she's
not because of this guy, right?
No.
Okay.
She has a very strong personality and she talks a lot. And although I talk a lot, she talks more than I do, which is freaking crazy because I talk a mile a minute. So yeah, I don't know. She just always talked over me, and I became quiet only in that group. It was weird. I'm never quiet. I'm a shy person, yeah, but I'm never quiet. Like, I'm always speaking and engaging in conversation. But I don't know, specifically with that group, I never talked. I was so shy, so introverted. And I think I just thought we were friends because of association. We were always together. But yeah, we weren't friends. Friends don't do that to each other. And I feel like if he knew me and knew my personality, he wouldn't have treated me the way that he did. Or, you know what, I can't say that because I'm different now and I can't be biased to like how I am now. But I feel like even before, if I talked a little bit more, like I feel like he would have just known my personality. And I feel like once you know someone on a deeper level, like you're not going to want to hurt them. My own like understanding, I feel like if I know someone's personality and I care for them, I'm not going to want to hurt them. Over someone I don't know their personality, I wouldn't care as much to hurt their feelings.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So I feel like he didn't care as much because I didn't let him get to know me, and he didn't try to get to know me.
I remember the first time we did a podcast, you mentioned it a handful of times that you didn't think he was a bad dude. You kept reiterating that point. Like, yeah, he did some very shady stuff. Yeah, he can't be my guy going forward. Yes, I'm super hurt by it, but I don't think he's a bad dude. And you kept giving him some level of like credit or benefit of the doubt. And I'm curious as to what that's derived from, because if he didn't know your personality, I think it's not far to say that you probably didn't know his personality as well. And so, was that wishful thinking that he was a good guy, or was that, I don't know, the few times you just saw him and you guys were hooking up, you're like, I think he's a good guy, and you just kind of like made that up and went with it?
I know he's a good guy. Like, I've seen the way he interacts with his friends, and like, I don't know, I think I might be naive and I think like the best in people, so I don't think he's so bad. Like, I don't blame him for everything that happened, because I should have communicated more and I didn't. So I don't know, I just don't think he's a bad guy. He did bad things to me. I do bad things to people too sometimes, and I don't think I'm a bad person. It's just sometimes people let you get away with more than you should, and I let him get away with more than he should have. And that doesn't mean he's a bad person. He was just doing bad things, and I let him do it. I could have stopped him. I could have told him, hey, this is hurting my feelings. You need to stop doing it, or you're not going to get with me at the end of the night. But I never did that.
No, I get it. It's not even, I'm not even trying to like indict this guy. He may be, you know, a nun or whatever, a pope or whatever the fuck. He may be a nice guy. My question really was, what is it that you were using to back up that statement? It could be very simple as, I have a feeling that he's a good guy. It could also be, I've been around bad guys before and they have an energy to him and he's not one of those guys. I was really just curious as to why you were so adamant that he wasn't a bad guy. But it seems like, you know, it may be a feeling. You may not have anything objective, like he does X, Y, and Z, ergo he's a good person. It may just be, I don't know, he's not a bad dude. He's just young and out here sleeping with people and treating people like dirt because he doesn't know any better. And that may be enough. So I'm going to transition because you told me off camera that something kind of odd happened. That's a setup for it. Now, you told me back in the green room that something a little crazy happened, and you got to tell the people what it was. Let's go.
Are y'all ready for this?
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, after our little conversation that me and my neighbor had, granted, I was being very flirty, very touchy with him the night we were talking, only because that's just my personality, and I was trying to, not my personality, I'm not a touchy person, but I'm very open and talkative, and like, I don't know, sometimes like, I'll like have some gestures, or I don't know, whatever. I was trying to be...
You're being a tease. You can say it. Like,
hell yeah. I was trying to be the biggest tease that night. Of course I was. I wore the teeniest little outfit. I was trying to fucking play with fire.
You know what happens when you play with fire?
Yes, you get burned.
Already. It's already too late. There's no children listening to this. It better not be.
I hope there's not, yeah. So whatever, we're like not cuddling. We're sitting on this couch together, and I was kind of like playing with his hair a little bit, but then I stopped, and he tried to kiss me, hook up with me. I don't know. He grabbed my face and tried to kiss me, and I pushed him off of me, and I got really mad at him. And I told him that I felt really disrespected, that he was trying to kiss me right after we just had a whole long, like literally maybe 2-hour conversation about us and why we didn't work and yada, 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 everything that happened. And this was the first time we were hanging out in so long, from January to what? We're in September now? October.
Yeah, switched over.
So I told him, I'm like, it's just really disrespectful. Like, what? I told him, you should try and be my friend first right now, than trying to hook up with me again. And he completely agreed. He apologized and told me, like, whatever. He's physically attracted to me, wanted to kiss me, whatever. But yeah, they always come back.
What is they? You don't got no experience. Listen, ladies, they always come back. You know. Here's the thing. Because there's 2 levels to this, right? First of all, this dude took his shot. And you know my basic mantra is I applaud generally people taking their shot when they have a chance. You don't know unless you take a shot, right? But what he did wasn't unfounded given the level of tease that you've admitted on this podcast you were up to. Now, I'm not saying...
I wasn't being that much of a tease. I was just wearing a cute-ass outfit.
Playing with his hair.
No, I played with his hair twice, maybe.
That's enough.
Okay.
That's enough. Listen, I'm telling you this as a guy. If you, like, I don't have...
He was touching me more. Like, he was tickling me and all this
dude.
shit. I was smacking his hand away.
Listen, I'm a dude. If you just mention the fact that I have hair, that's it. Like, you flirt. Oh, my God, do you have hair? Oh, she wants me. Like, it's to be playing with the hair, wearing something ridiculous. Y'all sitting probably pretty close on the couch. Like,
we were.
The moment it wasn't an unfounded position that, all right, we're gonna slip back into the past. Now, I want to applaud you for putting the brakes on it, because when you play with temptation, generally the longer you do it, the more apt you are to like fall into it, right? So maybe if y'all had kept doing it, or if you had played along, maybe something would have popped off. But you stopped it at the head, which means you learn from mistakes. And I think your declaration of why don't we try to be friends first? We just got done talking about how bad things were, is the right way to go about it, because then you put the onus on him. If he wants to try to be your friend for real going forward, then he has to go through whatever gauntlet you put up. If he just thinks, I apologize, sorry I hurt you, now let's get back to like making out and stuff, then either he didn't learn the lesson or the lesson wasn't like made clear enough. And I wasn't there, I don't know. But the fact that you put the boundary up is where you should be commended, because that's shows some learning occur there.
Definitely, it took a lot of strength for me to do that, because the whole night when we were hanging out, I could just like see myself like being really smiley and I don't know, it was getting like nostalgic and we were just, I don't know, we kept talking about the past, and it was so easy to just forgive him because of how much I cared for him before, and I obviously don't want to hate him for the rest of my life. He helped make me the person that I am today, to be completely honest. Like, he taught me so much about myself that I didn't think I was going to learn from this experience. So there was parts of me that, yeah, I kind of did want to like hook up with him and whatever, but I told myself, we have more respect for ourselves now than we did before. And
you said that to yourself. You said, yeah.
We as in me, myself, and I. We are a we.
It's like, I said to me, myself.
And I.
Me. We have more respect for us.
We have more respect for ourselves. Okay. Yes. So, yeah. I don't know. And I feel like that reminded him, or not reminded because I wasn't like that before, but that let him know that we're not flying like that anymore. We can be friends, but I will never hook up with him again. Never.
Now listen, you said never a couple times, and so I'm tempted to not fully believe you, because it sounds like you're trying to convince yourself more than you're trying to convince the audience. So I'm going to ask you point blank, because I can't let you off the hook. I'll never hook up with this guy again. It's like, that's a lot of nevers. Is there, because there's an attraction there, right? You never lose. I don't know if you never lose that, but there are girls I found attractive 10 years ago. If I see them now, I'm like, ooh, like there's still a thing there. And you guys obviously have a history, a very checkered one, and the outrageous proximity, which I can never underestimate. He's so close. It takes no planning whatsoever. You can leave your room at 2 a.m. and just throw rocks at the window.
I know.
He's like, hey, who's outside? Hey. Right? Like it's the outrageous proximity, the history you have, and the obvious physical attraction that's mutual. Is there any possibility whatsoever that y'all can have something more than just friends?
I personally don't want to hook up with him again. And if I ever did, if I ever did even give him the time of day, it will be because I feel like he deserves it. And by deserving it, I mean like he doesn't, I don't know. Honestly, there's nothing that he can do that would make me want to hook up with him again. So I can't even think of something that he could do that I would be like, yeah, you know what, it's a good idea to hook up with him again. Unless he was like my boyfriend and we started hanging out and I started liking him, really liking him for him and not just because we were hooking up, then maybe. But I just don't see that happening. I don't have time to hang out with him and like get all like emotional over him again. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to like I from him trying to kiss me, I already know he's not changed. So like I'm not going to do that again. He showed me like loud and clear that he still has one intention with me, and that is just to hook up with me. And I don't want to do that.
I got you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask this question because the people are in my ear. They're buzzing. They got to know. Because, again, I'm speaking as a guy now. A guy can want to be your friend and want to hook up with you, right? The two aren't mutually exclusive. Sometimes you just want to hook up and don't want to be friends, which is probably the first time you guys hooked up. He didn't have any interest in who you actually were or blah, blah, blah. He just was like, yeah, that girl's cute. She's next door. Cool. Now, let's play a scenario for it. This various one. Let's say you guys are hanging out more and more. Let's say 2 months. 2 months, you guys are hanging out, chilling, hookahing, stuff, whatever young people do, making bad decisions, eating Del Taco late at night, whatever kids do. Let's say Christmas rolls around. That's a couple months from now. And he gets you a nice gift, something like he's gleaned from y'all talking that you would enjoy. Let's say you talked about, oh my God, I love horses so much. I'm just making this up. I have no idea if you like horses.
I love horses.
Boom.
Horses.
So I just mentioned horses. Most women like horses. And let's say he said, hey, for Christmas, I got you this equestrian type thing for 2 at the stables. I know you really like horses and you always wanted to go, but last year I think you were injured. You couldn't go. So if you want to take your sister, you don't want to take me, that's fine. I just want you to have a good time. And then he just gave you... I'm
taking my sister for
No.
sure.
I'm not saying whether you're going to take him or her. I'm saying he does that, kiss on the cheek, and he walks away. Does that start melting that ice? You got an iceberg for this guy in your heart. Does that start melting? Because then that's not I just want to hook up with you kind of thing. There's some sentimental stuff there. He listened to you. He didn't like making conditional where you got to go with me and I'm getting a hotel room. It was like, hey, take your sister, take a friend. I just want you to have a good Christmas. Here you go. He walked away.
I mean, yeah, that would melt my heart a little bit. That would melt anyone's heart.
Listen, I know some frozen girls out there. So ain't no way you can put a...
I mean, it's not going to melt my heart completely. I'm still going to have a guard up.
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying. The guard will always be up to some degree because you've been hurt before, right? It'll be foolish to just be like, I'm letting my guard all the way down again. Your guard's always up a little bit. But from 3 minutes ago when it was never, that just gave you this hypothetical situation, which doesn't seem too improbable, right? We got horse stables in California. It's not hard to, talk about it or see it on TV, and you're like, oh my God, I love horses. And if he's any kind of dude, he can be like, A plus B, she plus horse equals good gift. Like, it's not something that would be hard to do. I mean, he has to be somewhat mature, I guess. But if that starts melting your heart a little bit, and that's like a guy friend move, and not like a, hey, let me just grab your face and make out with you look. And then let's say New Year's, a week later. New Year's, oh yeah, bring New Year's in with somebody. You're probably going to go out partying with your same group of friends. He's probably going to be in a group of friends. Oh, it's midnight. Who are you going to kiss at New Year's? Like,
not you.
Who's that random nerd in the corner like eating his toenails? No, it's more likely you're going to. So what I'm trying to do is I don't want you to do any of these things. I'm on the record to say I don't think you and this guy should be hooking up or whatever. But when people, I don't like self-delusion either. And I don't like when people say, oh man, I'll never be with that girl again or that guy again. And then you start giving these scenarios and it's like, well, I mean, if he did all those things, then maybe. Because then there's something still there. And that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I'm not going to say never. I hope I'll be strong enough to not go back to that situation. But I know I had the opportunity to go back into that situation, and I could have let him kiss me, and I could have seen where that was going to lead. But if I ever were to do anything with him, it would be because he earned it. It wouldn't be because it's an easy, convenient thing, because we did the easy, convenient, and it wasn't easy or convenient, really. So, yeah, I mean, of course, if he, like, shows that he cares for me and, like, I'm into it, then I'm into it. I can't lie and say, like, okay, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say never. Yeah, if he showed me that he's mature, he's different, he's changed, of course I want to give him a second chance. Like, I think, like, he maybe deserves a chance to show me that he's a great guy, but I just don't see that happening with him. I just don't see that in our future.
No, I think it's unlikely that he's going to do the necessary steps to get that attention from you. But what I wanted to do was present a scenario where, because there's times when people say, legit, I will never look at you the same way again. I'll never sleep with you again, this and that. And there's no turning back. Like, you hit I call it the rock bottom thing, right? You hit that point where it's like when you quit a job. And they can be like, we're offering you a raise, or we'll give you weekends off. And you're like, nope, I'm gone. You flip the switch, you take the smock off, throw it in the air, I'm gone, right? People have that in relationships too, where, like, usually it's people who break up, get back together, break up, get back together. And then one time it's just like, what am I doing? No, you're not worthy of me. And it's like, no, I'm so sorry, baby, it won't happen again. It's like, nah, we're done here. It is going to happen again because that's who you are. I deserve more. And then that's when you're out forever. They can grovel, they can send you gifts, little Build-A-Bears with your favorite perfume on it. I've done that before. I'm not proud of it. And it's just like, no, I'm out. And so I was trying to see if you were at that level or if you were just at listen, you're going to have to get on a knee and grovel and beg. And even then, it probably won't be enough. But, like, if I put a percentage on it, is it like a 5% chance, 10% chance that you would reconsider? Even if that's 10% chance, that's 90% chance you won't. That's a really high percentage you won't. But 10% there's a way forward for that dude if he decides that you're worth the effort and goes that route. And I wanted to know what the percentages were because that will help you too. Because if it's like 50-50, I'll get back with him, then you're going to get back with him. If it's like 95-5, that means he's got to be on his best behavior for like the next 3 to 6 months probably, and put all the right moves in and all the right gifts, the right time. He's got to make you feel a certain way. He's got to be contrite. He's got to be real and make you feel some type of way. All that shit has to happen. Even then, it's like, but I can't get past the past. So, for your understanding, I wanted you to like have a framework for it. So you don't just be like, oh, because first you're like, nah, never. He's not going to get me. And then you're like, well, I guess if this one thing happened, then you had to just...
He would have to mature a lot, definitely.
Sure.
I don't really see future with him like I did before. Like before, not that I saw a future with him, but obviously I wanted something more than just hooking up with him. So yeah, I did kind of want some sort of future with him, but now I don't need it. I don't want it. I've made so many different friends, and I've met so many different people, and I don't know, I see how like real people treat others, and I've watched so many different relationships evolve, and I just don't see that with him.
No, I mean, listen, I believe very strongly that there are no real bad relationships because they all have learning experiences to them. There's bad moments in relationships, certainly. Like there's obviously levels of abuse and trauma. Those are real things. But I think when you learn from what you went through and then you can apply it going forward, then there's a value to it. And usually I think it's a necessary thing, or else you wouldn't have learned anything. It would have just been something you knew to be true. So you're still young enough that I think you have a whole lot of new experiences you still have to go through. So this guy, he may be the first and worst of what you've gone through, but you're young. I'm sure by 25, you'll be like, oh, that guy at 21 wasn't about nothing. This dude at 23 really wrecked my life. Like, this guy was a mother.
Oh my God, I hope they don't get worse.
I don't know. Dudes don't mature like we're supposed to. But, because worse is also subjective. It could be worse because you're more committed to him. It could be worse because maybe he's a better liar. It could be worse because, I don't know, maybe like you guys start dating, he gets a job in Boston and you don't want to leave Cali. And so you guys break up because of a move. Like, there's a lot of ways it can be worse, but the fact of the matter is that you have to go through some experiences and learn some stuff so you know what kind of, one, woman you are, two, what kind of person you want to be with, and then three, how you want to proceed going forward. This guy, the possibility of a future was minimal because you guys never talked anyway. You guys weren't actually friends, you were just hooking up. So there was never really a future here, if you're going to be perfectly honest about it. But there are lessons that you learn from this guy. So hopefully, now you won't let some dude treat you some kind of way. Or you'll have more self-respect for yourself where you say, okay, I'm worth more. Next time you meet a guy who's, hey, you're cute, you wanna go out? It's like, I don't know. I don't know how you talk. I don't know how you talk to guys, but I imagine any future guy is gonna have to go through some kind of a gauntlet to get over what this first guy did.
Oh yeah.
Which is maybe not fair to them.
I've already been experiencing that, like the past few months.
Let's talk about it. So we're going to pause the Unofficial Therapy podcast for this week because this is a very long interview. So I want to give you guys a double dose of it. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. Keep supporting us, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.